You'll have the national anthem. It is such a joy to welcome you to, I'm going to call it a historic occasion. It's not the first time we're having these graduations, but each one is historic in that we are saluting those who have worked extremely hard, made tremendous sacrifices, and have given of their utmost best to excel and to come out on top. Because once you are graduating, it means you are top of the class. And so we want to congratulate those who are graduating. So put your hands together for them. There's no way a round of applause expresses, the depth of our appreciation for the hard work that you've put into your success. Nonetheless, it's the best we can do externally to show you our appreciation. We also want to put our hands together for those who will be awarded fellowships. These are, great people that have worked and continue to work to support the college, and so put your hands together. So we're going to be very critical in terms of how we move. So I'm going to now invite our president, Dr. Ogunsari, to address us. Put your hands together for everyone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the first batch of MSc students in clinical dentistry in the English-speaking Caribbean will graduate from the Faculty of Dentistry of the International Postgraduate Medical College. And this is in two rare areas of dentistry, two rare specialties of dentistry. The MSc in Oral Surgery and Medicine and the MSc in Oral Implantology. It is important to note that these two specialties are also the most expensive and demanding when it comes to the training of a dentist. As such, the International Postgraduate Medical College is proud to be the first to commence such training in the English-speaking Caribbean and the first to graduate students in this region. In the pathway of your degree, the college gave generous scholarships and financial assistance to sustain high-quality education and examination, which you are all witness to. This MSc in clinical dentistry, which has been approved by the Council of the International Postgraduate Medical College on the advice of the Board of Examiner, is now yours to take. I found you all to be determined to excel despite the academic rigors that you endured. It is called the elevation of standard. The college will be putting out advertisements for academic staff, and you are free to apply. God first and godliness is essential in good living. And as such, I will encourage the Bishop of Kingston, the Right Reverend Gad Minot, to bless your award or awards. Now, claim the credit by claiming your MSc degree certificate. And of course, also your fellowship certificate. And not only claim the greatness that you have labored for, but maintain the greatness throughout your academic life. Shortly, we will be honoring 9 great clinicians and academics and a former top university administrator with our prestigious fellowship. They will assist you to structure the fellowship of the Faculty of Dentistry of the International Postgraduate Medical College that is now your greatness. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As some of you know, I am a fellow of the Royal Australasian College of Dental Surgeons. And I became a fellow in 1993. I became a fellow in oral surgery, oral medicine, oral pathology, and periodontology. I became the first Black, if I can remember, to have the prestigious fellowship of the Royal Australasian College of Dental Surgeons. And if I wasn't the first Black, I know I am the first English-speaking Caribbean and the first African. Yes. And without the Royal College in Australia, knowing what is happening today ahead of time, they actually wrote me a letter about 2 months ago. It was very surprising that since I became a fellow in 1993, they have not heard of any other dentist in the Caribbean become a fellow as such, or even a fellow of the Royal Australasian College of Dental Surgery. And you know what that means? It means that they are trying to say, maybe I'm not pulling people along. And they asked me if they could do a write-up on me. And in fact, the write-up was published yesterday, just coincidentally, and I sent it to some of my students. It's on page 21 of the newsletter. And ahead of that, they knowing of this function here, 5 master's students in clinical dentistry, and 5 of them also becoming fellow of the Faculty of Dentistry of the International Postgraduate Medical College. So, they sent a letter to the college addressed to me. Dear Dr. Ogunsali, firstly, congratulations on the upcoming graduation ceremony for fellows and graduates in clinical dentistry, a momentous occasion. Thank you also for you providing the YouTube link to allow us to follow online. All the best for this terrific occasion, and congratulations again to everyone involved. They call it a terrific occasion, and that is what the letter is all about. And finally, I want you to appreciate the fact that the Royal Australasian College of Dental Surgeons enjoys reciprocity with the Royal College of Surgeons in Edinburgh, Glasgow, London, and Ireland. And we know that our standard is high, the standard that we have given our 5 graduates and which we are going to maintain. And I know at one stage or the other, this terrific occasion will extend to some kind of international reciprocity. Thank you.
We now invite our Provost, Professor Barton, to address us.
Thank you very much, Bishop, President, Bishop Minot, graduates, honorary fellows, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I wish to congratulate the International Postgraduate Medical College for its determination, perseverance amidst difficult situations in graduating the first class of master's students in dentistry. The graduates have shown the timber and caliber that is required in postgraduate training and have achieved excellent results. The vision and unshakable willpower of the President, Dr. Christopher Ogunsalu, and his international collaborators made all this possible. The calling in this dental stroke medical profession is to reach out in compassion and touch humanity, whether in good times or bad times, and I may add, whether in peace or in war. We exhort you to hold fast to your pledge and reach out to the vulnerable in society. The knowledge that you have acquired is to be shared with the world. In clinical care, in teaching, in research, and in entrepreneurship. Therefore, we look forward to having some of you return to the college as teachers, researchers, as members of college committees, and working to develop the college academic journal. We are pleased that you have seen it necessary to initiate an alumni association with admirable goals. Your families and all who have supported you should be forever in your thoughts. Your mission must be to alleviate the suffering of mankind. Thank you all.
Professor Kenneth Judy has been and continues to be a friend, a supporter, and as Professor Barton says, an international collaborator. And so without him, we would not be where we are today, because he has contributed so much to the life of the college, and he holds the distinction of being the first provost of the college. He's with us virtually, online, and so he's now going to bring a tribute in memory of Carnegie. Professor Kenneth Judy.
Thank you. All I have to know is the visual aspect of This is Dr. Judy. I am available on Zoom. I'm happy to talk to you. I'm just having trouble visualizing myself. However, since I can hear myself, I would like to be able to say a few things. I became interested in publishing in the field of oral implantology. I published my first article in 1966, and my last article in 2011, which was over 113 articles. And I've always considered myself rather knowledgeable about the field and about the people that mean things to the field. And yet, I stand before you talking about somebody who is no longer with us, Dr. Carl Misch. And his contributions to the field of implantology far outweighs mine, if I had to be frank and honest. And the relationship that he has always had with the International College of Dentists in Jamaica, to be specific, the International Postgraduate Medical College in Jamaica, the West Indies, has been extremely interesting to him and to the future of implantology in your country and in the world. He unfortunately passed away with a serious brain tumor a number of years ago. And we have all been without his guidance and his knowing where certain elements of our field should be going. And I think he has always been spot on, as they say, as to what is necessary to make a institution such as the one you all represent now successful. And I understand from Dr. Ogunzalu that perhaps there will be some way of memorializing his name more in relationship to your organization. And all I can say is whatever you choose to do, you should do together. You should know that you are honoring a great man who gave his life to this field and spread implantology around the world, not just in one country, but in dozens of countries. And he spread around the world the concept of all people, all specialties in dentistry should be contributing to whatever programs we develop in the International Postgraduate College. Now, I realize that not all specialties are represented right away, but you have to have patience. Time is coming, and you will find that you will spread from Jamaica outward to England, to other countries, to Ireland, that I know of, to Africa, to a number of countries, etc. And you will be bringing a constant message with you, namely that you are students of people like Dr. Misch. And you will find that the world will greatly honor you for what you have been doing, all of you. And you should just be very proud. And I'm saying without reservation that each and every one of you that I see on the program as organizing, as contributing, as being part of this magnificent effort, as I see just selfless dedication to a field. But what you sometimes can miss by not watching to, that the field is zooming, if you wish, ahead. It is getting larger and larger It is including surgery, periodontics, law, God knows what not in the field that makes the field of dentistry what we are. And it's saying that the International Postgraduate School should be part of that. We should all be proud. I have spent any number of days of my life with Dr. Mish, and as he was dying, I spent a solid day talking to him, and I know what he wished for all of you, namely success. Success at sharing with the international community of implant dentistry through the ICUI, which he and I have both had the pleasure of leading for a number of years. That, in fact, is an organization that is growing tremendously. And I think you will see that you will be well represented within it. And you'll be proud of your association with an organization which meant so much to Dr. Mish. Again, I would just like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Mish for all that he has taught me, to Dr. Mish for all that he has stood for in teaching you and your comrades here in Jamaica and around the world, and make his life far more meaningful, if that's possible, than what it was. So with those simple words, I leave you and look forward to working with you in the years to come. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a wonderful evening and a bright and brilliant future. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Judy. And in respect and out of respect for Dr. Carmish and his contribution, I invite us to stand for a moment of silence as we pay respect to his life and his tremendous contribution.
Now, I presume our Zoom call, at least as far as I am concerned, is finished. And I want to say it was my pleasure being with you this afternoon. Take care. Bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Judy, and it was good to have you put your hands together again for him. Thank you very much. You can stay as long as you want, but yes, we feel free to take your leave when you wish to. Thanks again. Now we move to conferment of honorary fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College, and we invite Dr. Mackenzie and Dr. Colonel Espinoza Campbell to come forward. We're honoring Professor Edward Barton, Mr. William Iton, Mr. Michael Gardner. Dr. Abios is on virtually. Professor Archibald McDonald is not here. Dr. Frey, of course, is here. Dr. Dennis Stevens is overseas. And Dr. Margaret McAlpine is no longer with us, so is Dr. Anthony Lewis. We're going to invite Emerson Henry to collect on behalf of Dr. McAlpine and Dr. Lewis. So, over to you.
Professor Everett Barton, OD.
the president of the International Postgraduate Medical College. I stand representing the dean, and I am also the deputy provost of the college. So these members, whose names will be called, having satisfied the requirements for the award of honorary fellowships of the International Postgraduate Medical College, beg leave to be presented for the degree of the fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College. Thank you.
By the power vested in me by the Council of the International Postgraduate Medical College, I hereby receive these members for the award of the honorary fellowship of the Faculty of Dentistry of the International Postgraduate Medical College.
Mr. William Aiton.
I now invite to the podium Mr. Michael Gardner, OD. I would like to invite to the podium Professor Morrison, Harold Morrison. Look here. Okay. I'd like to invite Dr. Delroy Frey to the podium. Look here. Thank you. And to receive on the virtual platform, Dr. Abiosa. So in absentia, he's actually here on the platform. So this certificate is for you, sir. I would like to invite also Dr. Henry to receive the posthumous awards for Dr. Margaret McAlpine and Dr. Anthony Lewis.
Put your hands together for the awardees,
as well as Dr. Mackenzie and Dr. Espinosa Campbell. Put your hands together for them. And now I'm going to invite Dr. Frey to respond on behalf of the awardees.
Bishop Minot, President Dr. Gonzalo, Provost, Professor, graduates, fellows, good evening. You know, this is a tough task for me. When I was asked to respond on behalf of the fellows, I did a little Google search of each of the honorary fellows. And trust me, it would take a very long time to speak about them. So as a surgeon, I decided that it would be most important that while we are in an operating theater, it's very important that we get out as fast as we can and to ensure that we do it effectively. So let me first congratulate the International Postgraduate Medical College on this tremendous milestone of its first annual graduation. I have been involved in this college from its embryonic stage of development. I must confess that at times I was very doubtful of its development. This college is the brainchild of its founder, Dr. Christopher Gonzalo. This man had vision. The Bible says, without vision, we perish. Well, he had vision, and his only focus was fixed on the end product. At times when he speaks to me, I could see he's looking at the end product, and I'm wondering, what does he see? He achieved this by co-opting people of excellence, as you can see from the academic profile of his faculty. The highest level would have to be achieved. The honorary fellows today, each one has a unique track record. There are a lot to say about each. However, time does not permit this. One aspect I would love to highlight, each and every one is involved in medical education, teaching, and that record is phenomenal. Too detailed to mention here. It's interesting, as I stand here and look at Professor Morrison, he taught me biochemistry at the preclinical level. And it's interesting that we are here today, in this capacity. However, I would personally like to highlight Mr. Michael Gardner. His work in anatomy at the UWI, I believe, is not fully recognized. That's my belief. This man's entire life is anatomy. Both at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. This level of dedication and excellence which he imparts his knowledge is truly phenomenal. This of every single fellow this evening can be looked at. If you're able to Google their profile, you'll understand the caliber of people here we have. I myself, my main interest after spending nearly 35 years in surgery is surgical education and teaching. I'm happy that the International Postgraduate College sees it fit to accept, this is Mr. Gardner, him into fellowship. And on behalf of all of the other esteemed fellows this evening, we express our gratitude. I can only wish God's richest blessings will continue with this college. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Frey. Well said and well deserved, all the awardees. And I must again make special mention of Professor, the Honorable Errol Morrison. We omitted to recognize his award of one of the highest honors in Jamaica, the Order of Jamaica. And so apology, Professor, and we recognize your outstanding contribution. Thanks again. Now, I'm going to invite Dr. Emerson Henry to do a musical presentation. Thank you. Put your hands together.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We never had an opportunity to do a rehearsal before, so I'm going to ask the technician to play track number 2. Just start it first, let me hear what it sounds like. Then we shall proceed to join the music. Well, as a technician, turn it down a little. Let's go again. Okay, you can go back to the beginning now. Now we invite you to join in singing this song. I know most of you will know this song. Harry Belafonte. This is Jamaica Farewell. Harry Belafonte was the first person in America to have a million selling hits. And his mother was born here in Jamaica. So join me sing. Down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Boy, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down in the market, you can hear ladies crying out while on their head they bear. Ackee rice, saltfish are nice, and the rum is fine any time of year. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. I can't hear you. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston. One more time, come on. Sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Sounds of music everywhere, and the dancing girls singing to and fro. I must confess that my heart is there, though I've sailed from Maine to Mexico. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. I can hear you. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. One more time. Sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on the mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. Your time. Sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. In closing, one more time. Sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town. Let's fade it out now. Sad to say I'm on my way. won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. Leave a little girl in Kingston town. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. Multi-talented, multi-skilled. Thank you. Very good. Now, Dr. Henry, I'm going to ask you to come back because you're going to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon.
I was just telling Mr. Aiden about, just reminding him of our days on campus when we used to sing at Spectrum and Smoker and things like this. I don't know who remembers. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Aiden, and who I've known for a very long time. Mr. William Aiden is a Genus certified practitioner specializing in emotional intelligence leadership assessment and development. He is a certified ontological coach with the Newfield Network Group. He served as a university registrar for the University of the West Indies between 2007 and 2019, and was campus registrar at the St. Augustine campus UWI between the years 1999 and 2004. He also served as head of human resource for the First Citizens Group between 2005 and 2007. He was also VP of Industrial Relations for TSTT from 2004 to 2005. He's a student of positive psychology, married to Kenisha Tomiton, and is the proud father of 7 children. I'm sure Mr. Aiton will explain to you what an ontological coach is, because I think some of us might not know what the work of an ontological coach is. So without further ado, Mr. William Aiton.
Thank you for your kind introduction, Emerson. A pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by recognizing the President's procession, the distinguished head table, and the people why we're here today, our graduates, soon-to-be graduates, and our honorary fellows. It is indeed a distinct pleasure and privilege to be here this evening. Would you believe that Chris flew me all the way from Nairobi, Kenya? So I came a long way. But I've been associated, like Professor Frey said, with Chris's endeavor. And I think it is appropriate that I start by recognizing his tenacity and his courage to go where no one went before and establish an institution to provide postgraduate training in dental training and education and training in dentistry. It's the only institution of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean. And I think it speaks volume to his vision and his stick-to-itedness. So I think we should really recognize that effort. When Chris invited me to speak, being a former university administrator, he suggested that I speak on leadership in higher education institutions, but I wasn't inclined to go that way because that's not what we're about. This evening is to celebrate the outstanding achievement of our graduates, recognize the hard work and input of the faculty that took them here. So I'm going to address my remarks, brief as they might be, on leading oneself, because that is where everything starts, okay? Mark Twain said, the two most important days in our lives are the day we were born, and I guess you would say the day you graduated. No. The most important days are the days we're born, and we celebrate them every year. And secondly, the day, and listen to me carefully, the day we discover why we were born. In other words, our purpose. We all sent on this earth for a purpose. And when we recognize that, that is the day, that is perhaps even more important, because that is the day we can lead a principle-centered, purposive life. So my remarks this evening are going to be focused on the latter, reason to celebrate, when we discover ourselves. And I'm going to reference my own experience because it's a journey, it's not a destination. Some of us get there before others, but if we are committed and prepared to live with conviction, we can get there. We can all get there. So I'm going to use my own experience in terms of my journey in self-discovery and share this evening. What I would do is, and I guess many of you might be acquainted with the work, is the work of Stephen Covey in his highly acclaimed book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm going to quickly run through the habits, and after each habit, I'd leave you with a word that you're going to hopefully associate with that habit and perhaps try to live the habit, okay? Covey's work is based on what we call the character ethic, vis-a-vis the personality ethic. A lot of today's leaders are created by the images that their PR consultants sell to us via the various media that we have. And I'm not casting any aspersions, but it causes problems if you're not founded in self. You see what's happening to the three female presidents of some of the most distinguished universities in the United States. I mean, nobody would have imagined that what happened in Gaza would cause their demise. But that's what happened, because they went into a situation and didn't respond from within. They were using, whatever their PR agent said to do. And as it is, one is gone, and I suspect all the other two would go. So Covey's work is premised on that: knowing self, discovering self, understanding self. You cannot lead a successful life unless you lead yourself successfully. To lead yourself successfully, you have to know yourself. That's the admonition: know thyself. You can't be a leader, and the definition of a leader is someone who has people behind you. Somebody has to follow. If nobody's following, you're not leading, right? But before you can lead effectively, you have to lead yourself effectively. And my experience is that Covey's work helps us a long way. It helps us to get to that realization of what's truly important. And once we discover self, get dominion over self, we can proceed to do what we are supposed to do. Make the place a better place. Leave the campsite better. Every one of us, and this room I'm sure is full of, we have leaders in all various departments, lead. And it is a question of, after you have served and moved on, the place must be better. The people you encountered must be richer, right? And that is the legacy that we want to leave. Covey's work speaks to universal, timeless principles: honesty, integrity, fairness, and human dignity. These are some of the most valuable attributes of any leader. There's a body of work by a group called Cousners and Pausner, dates back to the late 1980s, 1990. They surveyed thousands of people on both sides of the Atlantic, seeking to find out what are the most treasured attributes of a leader. And the number one was honesty. Nobody's going to follow you if you can't be trusted, if you're not credible. Credibility is the highest currency. And credibility can only come from walking the talk, living authentically, not being somebody else, being who you are. So here we go. The first habit. The first habit says, be proactive. It's founded on the principle from a guy called Viktor Frankl. He wrote a very seminal work called Man's Search for Meaning. He was a victim of the Holocaust and was subjected to the most inhuman treatment. But before he got there, he was a professional psychologist. So when he was subjected to all these horrible things, he projected himself and saw himself as if he were in front of his class. And so he didn't react to what was happening, what they were doing to him. He responded. Sorry. He responded, right? And there's a big difference between reacting and responding. When one reacts, there's no space between stimulus and response. When you respond, you are taking ownership and deciding that you are choosing how you would respond to anything that happens to you. And that's the essence of proactivity. It is recognizing that you have the ability to choose your response to anything that happens to you. And the great American psychologist, William James, says that is the biggest discovery that you can ever have. Discovering that you can choose your response to whatever is happening to you. So you can wake up in the morning and choose to be happy rather than being morose and sad. You can choose to be positive. You can choose to be a significant contributor to the good of mankind. So that's your first habit. Proactivity, recognizing that you have the ability to choose your response. In other words, you are the creator. In the language of the computer field, you will be the programmer. You are writing the program. You can write your own script, and you can choose to live a life of conviction. When you are proactive, your language is different. You speak in terms of choosing as against being reactive and saying, I have to do this, or they made me do this. They made me mad. Nobody can make you mad. You choose to be mad, or you gave them permission to do that to you. So it's a very powerful, it's the foundational habit. Once you recognize that, you can then go on and go to habits 2 and 3, which lead you to a private victory, dominion over self. Habit 1 can be summed up in saying, take the initiative. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Take the initiative, take small steps, and get there. In the words of Nike, just do it, right? Many of us go to the next beyond without singing our songs, without doing the things that we really wanted to do. Be proactive, choose, write your script, and start. So the word that you associate with habit number 1 is start. Take small steps. Habit number 2 says, begin with the end in mind. It means that you're going to live your life backwards. You are envisioning the life you want. So if you know you want to be a professional footballer or basketball player or cricketer, you're going to have to put in the 10,000 hours in that particular area. Okay? So it's not by chance that Sir Vivian Richards is the master blaster that he is. Those of you who know his story know that he was gifted also and played for the Antigua national football team, as did his brother. But he chose cricket and spent the time, and that's why he's such a formidable player. The great Brian Lara, his father, from inception, similarly gifted and could have played football, but he knew he wanted to be the world's best batsman. He began with the end in mind. It's about envisioning what you want to do. It's about getting that personal mission statement in place. It's about understanding what you really value, what you care about, and then dedicating that time. Some people say, hey, the family is the most important thing. And if you ask them to log the time, especially professional men, log the time and see how much time is spent with the family, then you see it's not real. Because they spend 16 hours in the office, come home, their children are sleeping, and I don't know, you know what I mean? And that's it. But you say you value family. One of the things that these habits teach us is that we learn to say what's important to us in one word. So if family is what we're about, when we look at our lives and we see how we live it, we know that that's going to be the sun in our solar system, right? To do it effectively, we need to have roles and goals, right? We need to know what the goals are and set them out and work assiduously to achieving them. Okay? So you need life goals, you need annual goals, weekly goals, daily goals, etc. And you need to have a burning desire to achieve those goals. Okay? So all the I mean, if you look at our foremost sprinter here, Usain Bolt, we see him when he takes the 9.5 minutes to run the race, but that's not what we see. He's put in 1,000 hours down in the bowl, and I've seen pictures or heard the stories of him training and vomiting. But that's his goal, and that's where his conviction is, and that's where he spends his time. So this is the essence of it. When you identify what is important to you, that's where you spend your time, right? Habit number 3 says, put first things first. It says, the tyranny of the urgent must not take precedent over that which is important. And what is important is what you deem to be important in your life, what you cherish. When you ask yourself, what do I care about? And you ask yourself that 5 times, you might be able to answer correctly. And when you do that, that is where you concentrate your effort. The critical work there is focus. You got to have focus. You can't have a scattershot gun approach to it. If this is what you said is important, don't let anything else come in its way. I still have little ones, and so I try to teach them the habits all the time. And one of the things, 10, they want to go out to play football and do everything rather than do the homework before they do it. And the lesson is, hey, take care of the important thing first. Do the homework, get it out of the way, and you have the rest of the 23 hours to do all you want to do. So that's it. Focus. This one thing I do. The mind, many distinguished medics say, in the neuroscience and the positive psychology tells us that the mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So to talk about multitasking doesn't make sense, because that mind has a switch like that. You have to focus. This one thing I do it, get it out the way, and then move on to the other one. Again, if you have all these goals, you can't be chasing all one time. Get them, take them off, and move on. So the first 3 habits are essentially about yourself. Being the programmer, writing your script, being the creator, deciding what you want in life. 2, having that idea that this is what I want to be, and living your life in accordance. I always tell this story again of a US presidential aspirant. Most of you might remember him. It's 1990s thereabout. A guy called Pat, and monkey business in the Bahamas. He wanted to be the president of the United States, but was frolicking on a boat called Monkey Business in the Bahamas. We didn't even have all the social media that we have now, but it got back, and that was the end of his presidential aspirations, because he wasn't living his life in accordance with what he had set out to do. You got to be authentic. You got to live according to what you deem or what you envision as your life goal. And thirdly, Don't let the non-important, secondary things take precedent over the important things. It may appear that when we speak like this, if you follow Covey's habits, it might appear that we're being asked to live a very regimented life. That's not the case. We're just saying, if you take care of the important things first, you have a lot of time left to do what might appear to be left. But the truth is, the way we are wired, we prefer to spend the time doing the leisurely things, and then when the crisis comes, we rush to do it. It's not the way to go. It's the law of the school. It's not the law of the farm. If you plant a seed, you can't go pulling up the root every day to see if it's growing. You've got to let it take time, germinate, and develop and become the tree that you want it to be. In school, you can, and I've seen it happen in my own experience too. You defer, and exams is 2 days away, and then you spend 2 all-nighters, and then you come. That's not it. In the world, you have to live with the law of the farm. Put in the work. They tell you the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. You've got to work hard for everything that you aspire to have. So those 3 habits allow us to get dominion over self, allow us to know ourselves, allow us to know what we have to do to achieve the end that we want, right? Then we have habit 4. Habit 4 says, think win-win. It's about mutual. Did I give you the words for the third one? Goals is the second one. And the third one is focus. Yes, I did say focus. Yeah. So habit number 4 is about win-win. In my life, early in my life, I used to be an industrial relations guy. I started my work life here in Jamaica with a union, the National Workers Union, then the biggest union in the English-speaking Caribbean. And one of the most significant mentors in my life is a guy called Carl Donkey. He was President General. He was a member of the UWI too. He was the President General. And I was a young 22-year-old or 23-year-old and got thrown into the woods there. Never knew anything about trade union. I wasn't like Paul, a seasoned trade unionist. But I learned tremendously quickly because of the exposure that he gave me. So, I acquired a lot of what it was about. And then I went back to graduate school and then came out and went on the other side. I became an industrial relations person for the employer. Well, I had to eat. Unions pay you on a week, on a fortnightly basis, and sometimes it just doesn't happen, So there I was, and then I was actually working at St. Augustine as the industrial relations person. And in my first year or so, there were lots of things that I saw that needed to be corrected. But I was young and inexperienced and not thinking win-win. I was in a zero-sum game. So I was taking over. And one day, as we attempted to make things right, having them make concessions. And one day, one of the guys said, no, we can't keep doing this. Right? Because I was bringing all the marbles home. And when you do that, the other side obviously gets disgruntled. And you never have a sustained, long-lasting relationship. You have to ensure that the needs of the other side are satisfied, right? Other than that, there will be no lasting peace, right? As you see what's happening now in the Middle East. So win-win is about mutual benefits. Everybody has to win. Everybody has to win. You have to leave the table with needs, maybe not all the needs, but some of the needs on both sides satisfied. I had another, by this time I'm mature and understood the game fully. I was dealing with, this is while I was in the bank, I was dealing with a very powerful union too. And all the other banks in Trinidad, Port of Spain at that time were outside marching up and down. They had offers of 16% over 3 years and they wouldn't take it. My bank, which was a state-owned bank, gave us a remit of 12%. And I'm here to tell you that not one day did any of those workers go outside and wear down their shoes. Why? Because at that stage, I was again exposed to what it is, how you treat people. They have to have their needs satisfied. So although I was given, almost what they say, like basket to carry water, I had to find a way to make sure it happens. And how did I approach it? I got the union to say, hey, let's see what your real needs are. And let's see how we can work within the confines of my limitations, because there's no way that I'll gain more nominally than the 12% you offer. But when I looked at it, the salary administration in the bank over the years was very faulty. So if I were in the bank, they didn't have annual increments. So if I were in the bank 1 year and somebody else was there 5 years, we were virtually getting the same pay. They didn't recognize the experience or the performance because they only had the first point on the scale. So that allowed us to creatively find a way to give more than the 12%, because I came up with an idea that for every 5 years, we're going to give an increment. So if somebody was there for 20 years, they got 4 increments in addition to the 12%. So they in effect got, because an increment is normally about 3%, right? So they got 24%, right? So when I sold it to the union and explained, they were quite happy because they were ahead of the game. And we signed the agreement in 7 meetings. The people in the bank couldn't understand what was happening. When I went to my boss to report what I'd done, this was something else. He looked at me, he said, well, look like you exceeded your remit. I was quite taken aback, because I'd saved the bank, in terms of what we've done, millions of dollars in terms of continued productivity and a happy workforce. But he's a banker, so he thought in everything, and he thought I had exceeded by some marginal percentage. And some of the people said that, yeah, we got 24, and it nearly scuttled it, because the government was saying nobody gave you a remit for 24, and I had to go back explaining this is what it is. It's 12%, right? It's not, if you look from first point to last point, it was adjusted by 12%. But using creative measures on a win-win basis, we're able to do it. So what we have to do is add value. Again, my experience from a trade union. If you don't enlarge the cake, people can't get a bigger slice. If you like crabs in a barrel, fight over the small cake, everybody will get this. But if we together commit to enlarging the cake, the issue of distribution becomes a secondary issue. So it's something I heard many years ago. Focus on the creation of wealth, the distribution will follow. So think win-win. It is the only way that you can have sustained, lasting relationships. There are several permutations. Some people just say win, and it doesn't look bad because they're not necessarily deliberately saying you won't get. But their only focus is on themselves. And that's not how the world goes. Some people say win-lose, which is the norm. If you're playing football or you're playing cricket or you're running, you want to win. So people will lose. So that's appropriate. But in human interactions, it cannot work, because the loser would always try to get back at you, right? Then, amazingly, there's lose. You just lose. You're a victim. You're prepared to let people walk all over you. Then there's lose-win, right? Or no, there's lose-lose. And again, Paul, I reference you. When unions go on strike, or employers go on strike or lockout, nobody wins. Or in a war, nobody can win in a war. All those things in terms of human interactions are lose-lose. But we still engage in it because perhaps we are hardwired negatively. And then there's win-win, which is good. But the ultimate is win-win, no deal. So if we are engaged in negotiation and we're not coming to a resolution that allows both sides to walk away with something, we can say, hey, the mature adult approach would be say, okay, let's leave it as this because we can't come to any agreement. So we're not mashing up the shop, we're leaving it as this. And what's the beauty about it? If you maintain the status quo, nobody is worse off than they were. But that is where you were. But in the adversarial approach, somebody suffers because they either strike or lock out and then the whole thing goes. So I commend the win-win approach wholeheartedly, right? And the word that you would associate with that is value. Create the wealth. Enlarging the cake, then you can share. So create value. Do what you can to ensure that value is created. Habit number 5, the habit of communication. And it says, seek first to understand and then be understood. Runs against the grain. We like to put our autobiography out there. So nobody wants to listen to understand. We want you to hear what we say. You know, so it's from my script. And we don't listen to understand. Right? But you're medics. What's the first thing you do as medics? Graduates? What's the first thing you do? But no, get me into medical language. You diagnose. You can't prescribe unless you diagnose because you don't know what you're treating. Right? And that is true for all the profession. You have to know what you're dealing with before you can address it, right? So you diagnose and then you make a prescription. So this is the habit that is absolutely necessary if you're going to have sustained, positive, mutually beneficial and satisfactory relationships with people. If you know what they really want, and you could only know that by listening, right? Then you can attempt to provide it. If you think you know what they want, and you make it, it doesn't happen. What's the best example of that? Ford who made only black. What color was in the early period? But he made it only in black. And I guess he felt the whole American population needed it. No, they rejected it. So you need to understand what the needs of the other side, and you could only do that by listening. They say we have 2 ears, 1 mouth, but we use the mouth more. You know what I mean? And the other thing about it, listening is caring. Listening gives you psychological ear. It makes the person feel respected. You eyeball them and you listen genuinely with a view to understand. We listen with a view to responding, to probe, to evaluate, to interpret, to make judgments. The thing that adults, and this is old time things in terms of transaction analysis, you can't, especially in a workplace, you can't get through to an adult if you address them like a child. And the only way you can do other than that is give them the respect that is due by listening and then responding, understanding what their needs are. It is very powerful, and it is the habit that sustains enduring relations. And in terms of leaders, it is perhaps one of the most critical attributes that a good leader needs: to listen. Keep your ears to the ground. They say management by walking around. Keep your ears to the ground. Connect with the people. Understand what it is they need, and give your best in terms of providing, satisfying those needs. Habits 4, 5, and 6. So the word you're associating with that is relationships. Habit 4, 5, and 6 are what we call, they lead you to the public victory. How you interact, interpersonal relations. You can't, if you don't know yourself, you can't venture into 4, 5, and 6. But 4, 5, and 6 allows you to become the person who can have followers because you respect them. Habit number 6 says synergize. Again, you scientists know what that means. It says 1 + 1 = 3. And that's real. So what we're doing is focusing and elevating and leveraging differences. You don't want to clone everybody in your own image. If you have a football team or a cricket team, it has 11 people. If you have 11 batsmen, you won't bowl them out. If you have a football team and you have 11 goalkeepers, you won't score a goal. Everybody has their own particular strength. And this is what, as a leader, this is what we have to focus on. But you can only do that when you're secure in self. You can tell a very insecure leader, right? Again, by the language. There's a proclivity to say I, because everything is about. So you say, okay, follow me on this crusade, and then when you reap all the benefits, the dividends, they stay with me alone. Can't last. You've got to be prepared to share it. If you bring them along on the crusade, they have to benefit. You know what I mean? So synergy focuses on strategic partnerships. Synergy says no one man or one woman is sufficient to produce greatness. Greatness calls for synergistic effort. Leveraging the strengths of others, bring them down. Bishop, in your field, they said, the great Jesus Christ, what he did, he had 12 disciples. Couldn't do it alone. So there's no endeavor or no field where one man stands up and does it alone, or one woman. You've got to synergize, you've got to recognize that there is significant benefit to be derived from harnessing the strengths of all the members on the team. And the final habit, so the word that you associate with synergy is partnerships, leveraging differences. The final habit is the habit that Kobe called sharpening the saw. It's the habit of self-renewal. Kobe described productivity as a PC balance. P for production, PC for production capability. And he tells us it starts with the fable, Aesop's fable, the goose that laid the golden egg. The goose, there was this farmer who was, went through some fairly difficult times. And one day he walked on the farm and saw a golden egg. And the next day he saw two. And it continued like that for a while, but what happened? As inevitably happens, he got greedy. And he decided it was time to cut that goose open and take out all the eggs. And you know what happened? He never found another egg. So that's PC balance. You've got to take care of the production capability. So we as humans, perhaps in whatever we do, the highest level of animal, we've got to take care of ourselves. If you just run yourself ragged, it ain't gonna happen. You can burn up, right? So there's need to look at your physical self. So we get in there, we get into the gym, we get enough rest, we eat properly, and that sort of thing. Then there's a spiritual need, right? So we need to have correct values. We need to recognize maybe forces that are greater than we are, and spend time cultivating that side of our lives. Then there's the mental, right? So we have to put in hours, read, write, and continue learning. And then there's the social-emotional, that's where the heart is. Kobe speaks of the concept of an emotional bank account. All interpersonal relations are predicated on trust. Absent trust, there's nothing, right? So you have to build trust. Trust comes from being trustworthy. Trust doesn't exist. Trust exists on an interpersonal basis. But you can only have trust if the partners or the dyad or the number of people are trustworthy. If there's no trust, there can be no relationship, right? And the way to build trust is to be always making deposits in what he termed the analogy of the emotional bank account. So you do good things, you keep your promises, right? You don't speak ill of people behind their back. Those sorts of things. What that does, what those actions do, little acts of kindness, they make deposits, right? But if you are constantly shortchanging and being untrustworthy, you're making deposits, you're making withdrawals, and human relations can't be sustained on that basis. So, the four latter habits are the habits that would allow us to interact meaningfully and develop long-lasting, mutually beneficial relations with all those that we encounter. It's summed up, it says, live, love, learn, and leave a legacy. Live, love, learn, and leave a legacy. And before I close, I told you what you need to do to answer the why, which is the second most important day in your life. I will just leave you with what Gandhi says are the 7 deadly sins, and hope that you stay far from them. Wealth without work. You've got to work for what you want. You've got to put in the time. So the story is, as we all know, Trinidad and Tobago, I was living in Trinidad then, and UK started the national lottery at the same time. The first winner in the UK was a Muslim. There's something striking there, something wrong? Muslims ain't supposed to come. He won 11 million pounds. And he's on record as saying, boy, that was the worst thing he ever did. People came out from all parts of the woodwork trying to get everything. His life was damaged. In Trinidad and Tobago, there were people who won the lottery, and those days a million was plenty, and then they would wash their cars with whiskey and light their cigarettes with dollars. A year after, they were back penniless, wealth without work. You've got to work for what you want. Pleasure without conscience. Get you in trouble. Look at Hunter Biden. Right? Pleasure without conscience. We all like the pleasurable things in life, but we have to have a conscience. We have to know where the balance is. Knowledge without character. We're in the knowledge business, but you have to have character. And you have to have true north values that guide you. Commerce without morality. So if you just rip off the people, your ill-gotten gains won't stay with you too long. Science without humanity. You're a scientist. That's why you have an ethical committee in all universities to know what you're doing. Religion without sacrifice. And finally, politics without principle. Keep these 7 deadly habits in evidence and practice the 7 habits of highly effective people. I thank you for your time.
It was well worth coming this far. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayton. Thank you. Put your hands together again. Thank you so much. Now we move to the award of the Master Degree in Clinical Dental Sciences. And I'm going to ask Dr. Pepple to come forward.
Right, so we are now ready to award our students their master's degrees in clinical dentistry. So, Mr. President, these members whose names will be called, having satisfied the requirements for the award of the Master of Science degree in Clinical Dentistry, beg leave to be presented for the degree of MSc Clinical Dentistry of the International Postgraduate Medical College.
By the powers vested in me by the Council of the International Postgraduate Medical College, I hereby receive these members for the award of the master's degree in clinical dental science, clinical dentistry.
Dr. Arif Safi.
I would like to invite Dr. Lisa Pinkney-Gale to the podium.
One more.
Next is Dr. Bugiso Letzwer. Next is Dr. Nirvana Prasad Singh. And our fifth and final candidate is Dr. Kareen Jackson.
Put your hands together again for the awardees. Now we move to a second category of awards. They award a fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College by examination in clinical dental sciences. Dr. Pepple, I invite you to come again.
Mr. President, this award is for fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College by examination. So most of all our postgraduate students have gone through rigorous examination that qualified them not only for the MSc, but also for the fellowship of the college. So, President, these members whose names will be called, having satisfied the requirements for the award of the fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College by examination, beg leave to be presented for the fellowship of the IPMC. Thank you.
By the powers vested in me by the Council of the International Postgraduate Medical College, I hereby receive these members into the fellowship of the Faculty of Dentistry of the International Postgraduate Medical College by examination.
Let me invite Dr. Arif Sakwi to the podium. Next, we have Dr. Pinky Gale, and her area of specialization is oral surgery and medicine, as was Dr. Sakwi. Our next fellow is Dr. Pogiso Letswer, also with specialization in oral implantology. Also with her specialization in oral implantology, we have Dr. Nirvana Prasad Singh. Our final candidate is Dr. Karine Jackson with her specialization in oral implantology.
Put your hands together again for the. Thank you. I invite Dr. Pepple to return for the final award of Fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College, Dental Implant, Auxiliary and Practice Management.
Thank you, Bishop. This one is a very special award. Special in the sense that this awardee is in a different class from the others. So, Mr. President, I present this member whose name will be called, having satisfied the requirements for the award of the Postgraduate Medical College in Dental Implant Auxiliary and Practice Management of the International Postgraduate Medical College. I am begging leave of him to be presented with the fellowship of the International Postgraduate Medical College. Thank you.
By the powers vested in me by the Council, I hereby receive this member into the fellowship of the Dental Implant Auxiliary and Practice Management of the college.
Mr. Daniel Taiwo Ogunsalo, please come to the podium.
Thank you. Let's give them all a round of applause. And also Dr. Mackenzie, give him a round of applause. Yes. All right, put your hands together again for Dr. Mackenzie and Dr. Fergus Espinosa. Thank you so much for your very timely assistance. Now, we're going to have the valedictorians, and after their speeches, they automatically become alumni. And so after they have spoken, then we're going to have the alumni pledge, which is a song printed in your program. So, I don't know if you had worked out an order already, if it's the lady before the gentleman, or the gentleman before the ladies, but I'm going to take chairman's privilege and invite Dr. Nirvana Prasad Singh as the valedictorian, and also Dr. Arif Sakri to follow after. Put your hands together for them. Dr. Nirvana first and Dr. Arif after. And then after they speak, then we will do the pledge.
Chairman, President, Provost, Deputy Provost, Faculty, fellow graduates, honorary fellows, distinguished guests. Class of 2023, good night and welcome. Congratulations, my fellow graduates. Today marks a significant milestone in our lives. I stand before you today as a valedictorian of this exceptional group of students. I'm filled with profound gratitude and a sense of pride. About 4 years ago in 2019, we were chosen by the college to pursue our master's degree. It was the start of a complicated adventure that began with distance learning and Zoom classes with the faculty. Then the journey became more interesting with 48 hours, clinical studies and training, excluding study hours at the hotel for 6 days, which we performed in Jamaica. Not to mention the numerous assignments and assessments. We endured the most difficult 8-hour written examination and an equally difficult clinical and oral examination. It finally ended with our dissertations. But today I believe that it was all to make us stronger for the future. I want to express our gratitude to my amazing professor, Dr. Christopher Ogunsalem, for his hard work and extensive expertise and knowledge in implantology. Thank you. We all appreciate the knowledge you have bestowed upon us. You are related We started our journey during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were not sure if we would have made it, but here we are. We were exposed to different cultures as the students are from different parts of the world. We learned how to adjust to a setting that could be difficult for some of us. We learned how to be modest and how to respect other cultures and customs. Although from diverse backgrounds, We are now proud graduates of International Postgraduate Medical College, leaving with the same ambition to succeed. Our journey extends far beyond the boundaries of textbooks and distance learning. It lies in the friendships we have forged, the clinical studies we were a part of, and the moments of inspiration we experienced. We have become a better version of ourselves, who have grown together, laughed together, and supported each other throughout our studies. We have experienced our fair share of challenges. We face rigorous academic demands, late nights, and the occasional setback. We persevered nonetheless. We have shown resilience in the face of adversity, determination to pursue our goals, and the unwavering belief in our abilities. As we move on to the next chapter, we must always remember the lessons we have learned here. We must keep in mind that success is determined by how positively we affect other people's lives, and that the greatest lessons often lie outside of our comfort zones. Not only are we valedictorians, we are leaders and change makers. We must keep the virtues of honesty and perseverance with us and make our university proud. So, my fellow graduates, always believe in yourself and let's conquer every challenge that lies ahead of us. Good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, our dear Provost and Deputy Provost, faculty, honorary fellows, distinguished guests, family and friends, and fellow pioneers. Good evening and welcome to all. My name is Dr. Aris Saki, and I stand proudly before and with you all today as valedictorian of our graduating class, and absolutely proud to be part of this memorable and victorious occasion. Each morning we gave thanks on rising and said our prayers, especially for a stable internet connection for the day ahead. We prepared our children after school, tried to see as many patients, expedite as many surgical procedures, and at each spare moment, we completed reading assignments, essays, and prepared for the quizzes and lectures ahead that evening on our digital platforms. Several pots of coffee, jumping from plane to plane, city to city, departures from our families and practices, to face clinical, written, and oral examinations, intellectual discourse, and defenses with foreign and local examiners, looking over our surgical strides and techniques from across the US, Caribbean, Ireland, and the globe. This was standard practice for myself and my colleagues, Dr. Pickney-Gale, over the past few years and others, when we were given the opportunity for higher learning, for young professionals craving expansion of our knowledge base and clinical skill to provide our patients and communities with the best that we can offer at a postgraduate level. The journey for us started well over 2 decades ago when we met a multiple qualified doctor, lecturer, philosopher, a pioneer, yet humble and down-to-earth visionary during our doctor of dental surgery training in Trinidad and Tobago. Our lecturer, our teacher, an inspiration, and our mentor, Dr. Christopher Gonsalves. The man who fondly said, "Fine, you did it. Fantastic. So the next step is what?" Right? This fueled a passion, not only for excellence, but a desire and thirst to maximize one's potential and become an instrument that was now looking at continuity for the future chance for educated minds to come. For others to have an opportunity like we embarked on at that time, with zero compromise on standards, as he said, standards, integrity, and hard work. at a postgraduate level. In 2017, we were granted this opportunity, but little did we know at that time what we signed up for. It was a lot more than we ever imagined. We entered uncharted and unprecedented waters, taking instruction, tuition, and hours of lectures online on the virtual platforms, mustering the discipline to produce papers without a conventional classroom setting. At that time, there were whispers of doubt and questions about the methodology being employed. But little did we all know the globe was about to be driven into the same at every level to sustain the model of education throughout the pandemic that was about to present. We were the pioneers that felt the instrument of change, that had to weather the storm, the meandering approaches, the unstable internet connections, but took all in good stride. It demanded unconventional efforts, unprecedented sacrifice, and discipline, but we are proud to be part of this alma mater. It was not an easy journey, but one that has left an indelible mark in our development and a massive leap of benefit to our clinical skill and delivery to the patients we care for on a daily basis. We'd like to extend our gratitude to all who supported us throughout this journey, to our families, to our members, family members, and loved ones. We would not be here today if it weren't for you all and your sacrifice. Today we stand before you proud, not because of the additional letters behind our names or what is etched on the scorecards, but the achievement that hopefully several will now gain from humanity. Mr. Writer, humanity. From the promising future that lies ahead for our esteemed college, its future alma mater, and thousands of patients who will gain bountifully from a higher educated pair of hands and a knowledge-based community. It is with this pride that I say to all, congratulations for making it thus far. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you all. Having faith in yourself and the institution that is born. But most of all, congratulations to you all for what you have done in your continued service to mankind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Put your hands together again for So now that they are alumni, they're going to all stand and say a pledge, and then I'm going to invite Dr. Pogiso Linsmere, the president of the alumni, to come forward. So we're going to do the pledge first, and then Dr. Pogiso will come forward.
As an alumnus of the International Postgraduate Medical College, I pledge to uphold the values and principles that define our esteemed institution. I am committed to the betterment of our college, the dental and medical profession, and the communities we serve. In fulfilling this pledge, I promise to promote excellence. I will strive for excellence in all aspects of my professional and personal life, upholding the highest standards in dental and medical practice, education, and research. Foster collaboration. I will actively seek opportunities to collaborate with fellow alumni, faculty, students, and stakeholders to advance the goals and mission of the college. Support lifelong learning. I will embrace a lifelong commitment to learning and professional development, continuously expanding my knowledge and skills to keep pace with advancements in dental, medical science, and technology. Empower future generations. I will mentor and support current and future students, guiding them in their educational journey, career development, and personal growth. Promote ethical conduct. I will adhere to the highest ethical standards, demonstrating integrity, honesty, and compassion in all my interactions with patients, colleagues, and the public. Advocate for patient care. I will advocate for the well-being and rights of patients, ensuring their access to quality health care and promoting equitable health outcomes for all. Contribute to community health. I will actively engage in initiatives that promote community health, addressing healthcare disparities, and working towards the improvement of public health on a local, national, and global scale. Preserve college legacy. I will contribute to preserving and enhancing the reputation and legacy of the International Postgraduate Medical College, upholding its traditions, values, and achievements. By pledging to abide by these principles, I commit myself as an exemplary ambassador of the International Postgraduate Medical College and to contribute to the advancement of the dental and medical profession and the well-being of society as a whole.
Thank you.
It's good. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, graduates, and distinguished guests, today is a momentous day as we gather here to celebrate not only our achievements, but also the birth of a powerful community, the inaugural alumni of the International Postgraduate Medical College. It is with great honor and humility that I stand here before you as your newly elected president. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of you on this remarkable milestone in our medical and dental careers. We have overcome numerous challenges, sacrificed countless hours, and persevered through adversity to reach this point. Our hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to excellence has paid off, and for that, you should be all immensely proud. As we embark on this new chapter as alumni, let us remember the unique bond that united us. Forged through shared experiences, sleepless nights, and the pursuit of knowledge. The friendships and the connections we have formed throughout our journey are invaluable resources that will continue to shape our personal and professional lives. One of the key purposes of the alumni is to foster a sense of belonging and to provide support for its members. As the president, I pledge to create a strong network that facilitates mentorship, professional development, and opportunities for collaboration. Together, we can leverage on our collective expertise and the talents we have to make significant contributions to medical and dental fields. Another important aspect of our role as alumni is to give
to give back. We owe a debt of gratitude to the institution that has equipped us with the skills and the knowledge to save lives and alleviate suffering. Let us actively engage in philanthropic endeavors, whether it be through scholarships for future students or supporting research initiatives that advance medical and dental science. We can make a lasting impact and ensure that legacy of our alma mater continues to thrive. Furthermore, as we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of healthcare, it is imperative that we stand or stay at the forefront of innovation, embrace lifelong learning, and adapt to new technologies. Let us strive to be lifelong learners, constantly seeking opportunities to expand our knowledge and skills so that we can provide the best possible care to our patients. I want to emphasize the importance of unity and collaboration within our alumni community. We must appreciate that we come from diverse backgrounds, specialties, and countries, but we all share a common goal, which is to improve the health and well-being of our individuals and communities. That is around the world. By leveraging our collective strength, expertise, and experiences, we can address global health challenges, promote health equity, drive positive change in the field of medicine and dentistry. As alumni, we have the responsibility to advocate for policies and reforms that improve healthcare access and quality on a global scale. We possess a wealth of knowledge and first-hand experiences that uniquely position us to influence positive change in our respective fields. Let us stand together and use collective voice to address the pressing issues facing healthcare today. As we embark on this new chapter as alumni, let us not forget the importance of mentorship and fostering the next generation of medical and dental professionals. We have been fortunate to have mentors who shaped our careers, provided guidance, and imparted their wisdom on us. Now it is our turn to serve as mentors to those who come after us. Let us be a source of inspiration and support for aspiring students, guiding them on their own path to success. In addition to mentorship, let us prioritize continuing education and professional development. The field of dentistry and medicine is constantly evolving with new breakthroughs, technologies, and treatment emerging. It is essential that we stay current and continuously enhance our skills and knowledge. By investing in our own growth, we not only benefit ourselves, but also contribute to the advancement of our fields. Moreover, let us embrace diversity and inclusivity within our alumni community. Our collective experiences, they span across different cultures, backgrounds, and perspectives. By celebrating our diversity and fostering an inclusive environment, we can foster innovation, creativity, and collaboration. Together, we can tackle the most complex challenges and find solutions that will truly make a difference in the lives of our patients and communities around the world. My fellow graduates, I urge you to stay connected, remain engaged, and continue to strive for excellence. Let us never forget the values instilled in us by this institution, which are compassion, integrity, and a commitment to lifelong learning. Together, we can make a lasting impact on the world of medicine and dentistry. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all the faculty, the staff, and mentors who have guided us on this incredible journey. Your wisdom and guidance and our unwavering support have played an integral role in shaping the professionals we have become. We owe our success to each and every one of you. I would like also to express our heartfelt gratitude to all our friends, our family members, and loved ones who have supported us through our journey. I stand here in conclusion before you today with a deep sense of pride and responsibility. Together, let us build an alumni association that supports, inspires, and empowers each and every member. Let us carry forward the values instilled in us during our time at the International Postgraduate Medical and Dental College and let us strive for greatness in everything that we do. Thank you for this incredible honor. I am truly humbled to serve as your president, and I look forward to working alongside each and every one of you to building a thriving and impactful alumni community. Congratulations, and may we all continue to inspire, heal, and transform lives through our dedication to the noble profession you have chosen. Thank you very much.
So we are just about at the end of our program. Thank you so much for your patience and your time. It's a good time for us to stand in a minute. I'm going to give you instructions in terms of how we're going to conclude, and then I'm going to invite the audience to stand as we recess. When we recess, we're going to go through these double doors here, but we're going to come back through this door as we're going to be taking photographs. So we're going to exit here, return through that door, and the photographers will tell us how to line up. So we're going to be taking, in no particular order, photographs with the now alumni, with the faculty, with Mr. Aiton, and with those at the head table. And the photographers will tell us which order we go in, and then hopefully all of us together can have one photograph. I don't know how that will work, but it'd be nice to have the graduates and everyone, the alumni and everyone together. So I'm going to invite us to stand. The music is going to start, and then the graduates are going to, the alumni is going to go first, and when they come back through the door, followed by the faculty and the president's procession finally. We're asking the audience to sit, we're going to take photographs, and then we can replay. There's refreshment on the outside immediately after. So we take the photographs now, beginning with the graduates. Mr. Photographer. So let's do the graduates first. Followed by the faculty and Mr. Aiton. Mr. Aiton. Well, I think you should need all the photographs.